Good morning. Today's lesson is on one-point perspective drawing. Take, for example, this railroad track. If I draw a red line across the horizon, I'll put a blue dot where everything vanishes. So you notice the railroad tracks are vanishing to the vanishing point at the blue dot. So everything gets smaller as it gets towards the blue dot, and as you draw away from the blue dot, things get wider. That is a very common way to give a 3D perspective to a picture. Take, for example, if you wanted to draw a city street or a bridge or a nice pier over a sunset. You would use the vanishing point technique to make things look like they're disappearing into the distance. It could be a mountain, it can be overhead, it can be a whole row of trees. It doesn't matter what you're trying to draw. A very famous painter named Raphael was one of the earliest painters to use one-point perspective. He learned this technique from Leonardo da Vinci. Another famous painter, Vincent van Gogh, used the one-point perspective in his bedroom, very famous bedroom painting. You can see his horizon line is right through the window and everything lines up. He also used this when he painted his very tall poplar tree painting. Here's another one-point perspective by Gustave Caillebotte. Look at how his horizon line goes right through the man's head, and the vanishing point lines line up perfectly with the railings and everything. Okay, the first time you do one-point perspective, it's easy if you have kind of a little cheat sheet. So I'm going to give you this one-point perspective sheet, and then you'll put a piece of copy paper on top. You'll be able to see the lines right through it, so you'll know how to draw your vanishing point lines. It'll make everything so much easier. So I'm going to turn my light box on so that you can see my lines a little bit better. But I just drew the horizon line and the vanishing point. From the vanishing point, I'm going to draw my vanishing lines. Those are the lines that are going to make things look like they're three-dimensional. I'm also going to draw lines above because I'm going to put some buildings and some trees. So when you draw the trees, you need to make sure your trees are straight, ruler straight. They should go vertically. They should not come off on an angle. They should go straight up. When you hit the horizon line, we're going to put the treetops on there. Right now I'm going to quickly draw my sidewalk lines. Then I'm going to draw a very thin line to make it look like a curb so that, it's giving it a little bit more dimension. And as I get closer to my vanishing point, those lines are going to get smaller and smaller. So when you go ahead to draw the trees, the biggest tree, you're going to see all of its leaves. The furthest away is going to be blocked by some of the other trees. At the end, I just drew a little sunset. Down the middle, you can do a little road. Each of the lines gets subsequently bigger as it gets closer to me. So now you're seeing, I just turned my light box on so you can see that I'm staying within the lines. Okay, clearly I'm just doing a quick little color in, but this thing should be entirely colored, no white spaces. Here I'm going to do another example in case you'd like to do one with buildings. If you're doing buildings, it gets a little trickier. So your lines of your house stay vertical, but the tops of your house are going to go through the vanishing point. You need to line up your ruler and draw the line for the top of your house going through the vanishing point. Now, the frontal plane, which is what I'm drawing right now, is normal. You draw it normally, not crooked or anything. But anything that is going along the vanishing line, the lines need to go on an angle through the point. See how I'm lining up my ruler? so that you can see how it'll go. It gives it the illusion that it's getting further away. Now the windows on the frontal plane, which is what I'm drawing right now, are normal. Okay, so that's just a normal square window. But if I draw a door or a window, I need to use the top of the line that has to go through the vanishing line. The sides of the doors go straight vertically, but the top of the window or the top of the door has to go through the vanishing point. Now I'm going to draw a quick little window, and that's going to be on the angle. Even that little cross has to be on an angle. So that gives it the illusion that the house is moving away from you. Here's my horizon line. I made it a little bumpy, like there'd be, oh, I don't know, bushes or whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to speed this up a little because you already saw how we did sidewalks and how we did trees. I'm going to draw a smaller tree further away and a larger tree up closer to us, maybe put in a bush or something else. Then I'll put a house on the other side, just to show you how to do houses. The trickiest part is lining up the vanishing point lines. Remember, the frontal plane is a normal square, the ones you see in the front, and the ones that are vanishing have to be used on the angle. You have to go through that point. Okay, so now I'm drawing trees, and they're getting bigger as they get closer to me. There's a sunset. You can draw whatever you want. You can draw buildings, no buildings, you can just draw trees. It doesn't matter, whatever you choose. Okay, so now go ahead and finish your drawing, whatever you choose to draw. Make sure it's all colored in. There should be very little white spaces. You can do any of the suggested drawings that I put in the front of the video, or you can Google some on your own and come up with your own one-point perspective drawing. Have a great day.